Gooseberry Lane by Bethany Tudor. Gooseberry Lane. Samuel and Samantha were two ducklings made of plush. They lived on Gooseberry Lane in a small cardboard house. It was white with a red roof and had blue trimming around the windows. Samantha was a very tidy duckling. She spent a lot of time cleaning and dusting. Spiders particularly annoyed her because they made large webs all over her ceiling. Samuel kept a garden. Every day he went out to hoe his cabbage and lettuce plants. One day, as he was hoeing his cabbages, dark rain clouds began approaching from the north. Samuel started running home in a hurry, for he knew the rain would spoil his plush. Unfortunately, he tipped on a plantain leaf and fell into some dry burrs. "Help! Help!" he quacked. Samantha came rushing out when she heard the noise. There was Samuel, unable to move, for the burrs had caught in his plush and held him down. Samantha worked for 20 minutes trying to unstick him. To make things worse, it was now beginning to rain, but at last out he came, bringing several burrs with him. They went home, and Samantha spent a long time pulling out the remaining burrs and prickles. She made some hot tea and put Samuel to bed. Outside, it rained and rained. The duckling's house began to leak. Samantha rushed around with pans to catch the drips. Samuel got out of bed and helped her. After 4 days of rain, a dreadful thing happened. The little cardboard house began to melt. Poor Samuel and Samantha knew they would have to leave and look for a new home. The floors and walls were already sagging badly. So they loaded their furniture into a wheelbarrow and sadly said goodbye to the little house. They started down Gooseberry Lane. Samuel pushed the wheelbarrow while Samantha carried some of her best dishes in a basket. The wheelbarrow was very heavy, and by noon, Samuel and Samantha were becoming discouraged. They decided to sit down and have some lunch. While they were eating, the sun came out, which made them feel much better. They started off again. After a while, they came to a bend in the road, and there before them was a beautiful little pond filled with duckweed and water lilies. On the shore, Samuel saw a large wooden box. "What a perfect house," he quacked. "All it needs is a proper roof and windows. It will make a fine duckery." But when they looked inside, Samuel and Samantha were very surprised to find it was inhabited by a woolen owl and a blue and green gweek. "Pardon me, is this your house?" asked Samuel. "It certainly is," said the owl, snapping his beak. "Would you sell or rent?" inquired Samuel, "for our cardboard house melted in a rainstorm, and we have nowhere to go." After several more beak snappings, Mr. Owl said that he would make a trade. "I am writing a learned paper on mice. This requires many hours of peace and quiet. If you fix the house and build me a room in the attic, and Samantha bakes me pies once in a while, the house is yours." "But what about me?" asked Gweek. "You can have a spare bedroom," suggested Samantha. The idea seemed to suit everyone, so Samuel and Samantha moved in. The next day, they began to work on the new house. Since wood is harder than cardboard, Samuel had to hire an obliging woodpecker to drill out the windows. Two chipmunks agreed to help raise the roof in exchange for a feather bed. Samantha gave this up rather reluctantly, as it had been her grandmother's. In no time, the house was finished. even to a hole in the attic for Mr. Owl. To celebrate completing their new home, Samuel and Samantha gave a large party. Samantha baked pies, seed cakes, and gooseberry tarts. Everyone ate a great deal. In fact, Samuel ate too much. After this, Samuel and Samantha, Greek and Mr. Owl, settled down comfortably in their fine new house. And if you can find Gooseberry Lane, I'm sure it will lead you right to it. The end.